Today's video, we're going to talk about how to A/B test landing pages on Google Ads, or when you're using Google Ads to A/B test your landing pages. There's a specific process that you want to go through to get what they call significant or statistically significant results. That is, so you're not making false assumptions about whether the landing page that you ultimately want to A/B test wins or loses, okay? The reason why this is not so simple anymore is because Google has turned into more of a machine learning or AI-based platform instead of a keyword or audience-based platform as it used to be in the past. Google Ads today operates a lot more like Facebook Ads has operated and still operates to this day, in that what you do on Facebook to get results, if you don't know already, you run an ad and you set a budget you can afford to spend, and then you let the algorithm figure out how to get you customers based upon what's worked and what doesn't work. And the results build up over time, and a lot of times it takes years to build up really, really good results with Facebook because you need a certain amount of minimum data to do well with it. And given that it has to run at a loss for a while, a lot of times you just have to invest so much that you can afford to put in it so much until it does start working, but then when it starts working and it's profitable, it just keeps getting more profitable. Google Ads is basically the same thing now. Just because you're targeting a keyword doesn't mean that either it works or it doesn't, because ultimately what Google's doing is looking at that keyword. Let's say the keyword's red shoes, okay? They're looking at all the people that search for red shoes, and then they're seeing where it makes sense to show any ads for somebody, whether or not to show your ad, whether or not to show somebody else's ad. Because there's usually 10 people cycling in and out of those top 4 spots on Google. And based upon the conversion data and looking at whether people click on the ads and whether or not the ads they get clicked on, people buy or turn into a lead, they determine what ad should show and for what people that search for that keyword red shoes. So just because you show up for or bid on red shoes doesn't mean you're going to necessarily show up every time. And actually, that's not been the case for a while. What they're doing is looking at all the people who search for red shoes, the traits they have, how old they are, what's their income, what do they have searched before, have they clicked on other ads in the before, have they been to your competitors' pages before. And there's thousands of data points that they store and save on each one of users that Google sees coming through Google. And when you get a lead or a customer, they look at the thousands of traits that person had, compare that to the thousands of traits that people that search for that same keyword you're bidding on, and then try to find what people within the searches of red shoes you should actually have your ad show up for in the future and which ones you shouldn't. So there's constantly testing going on that Google does years into the future after you even start up ads, so that they can get a better and better feel of the exact type of person who searches for your keywords that you think you want to bid on that are successful and work versus don't. So, and then same thing if you're doing like display network or YouTube, you're targeting an audience, but within the audience, they find out the people that are likely to be your customers versus somebody else's customers, so they can show the ad of somebody else's ad to that person, because that ad from that other person you're competing against is better suited for the type of person in question. And so all this testing is going on all the time, which makes running actual A/B tests on Google very difficult to do, because there's all this other stuff going on in the background all the time, okay? So it's a lot harder to get significant results as a result. On top of this, okay, what you also have when you're trying to just do a simple A/B test, where in an ad group you're trying to have what you should do for your A/B testing, have one ad that points people to your existing page, you start up a new ad that points people to your new test page, okay? And then you set up your ad group in the ad group settings to rotate your ad evenly, so that Google's algorithm isn't going to favor one type of traffic for your existing ad that's been running for a long time, and another type of traffic to your new ad that's been running for a long period of time. That said, you set that test up so half the traffic is now going to the new page you're trying to test, half is going to the page before in that particular ad group that you're running this landing page test, Google is still going to be biased of the ad that they know and have data behind that ad versus the new ad that sends people to the new landing page. Okay? They are going to do what they know works best for you by default. And anytime you have a new ad in your account, that ad itself is going to go into a learning mode for like the first 60 to 90 days. So if you think you're going to run a A/B test, landing page A/B test, and only run that test 90 days, well, you're going to have false assumptions about that page, whether it works or not, given what happens during that first 90 days is Google's still going to prefer to send the traffic that they know converts at a high rate to the ad that's been running for a long time, because that gives Google a better result for their users more consistently. They'll slowly send more and more of the better quality traffic to the new ad that promotes the new landing page if it converts better, but it'll take a while for Google's algorithm to figure that out and do that. And so really what you're going to have to do today as a result of all this is run your test for 90 to 180 days. Even if it looks like the test could be ended, because the first 60 to 90 days is just breaking in the new ad that points to the new landing page so that Google's algorithm can see that this new ad performs at least as good or better than the existing ad that points people to the other page. And if you're thinking, by the way, you could use a tool like Optimizely or a tool like Visual Website Optimizer so that you don't have to have a new ad and you could just dynamically on the server side essentially, or on the website side, just have it so that if somebody goes to a URL, they're redirected to a new page. Half of the people are redirected to a new page, and then half of the people are not redirected and they see the normal page they're supposed to see after clicking on your ad. It's still not going to mitigate the problem I'm talking about, because as soon as Google's system realizes that the conversion rates of the traffic that they're sending to that ad has fluctuated, it's going to send that ad back into learning mode again. Google's system's very sensitive to any kind of changes. And if it notices also that it's being redirected to a new place, it'll also send that ad back into learning mode anyway. So you can't really avoid this, negative volatility in your results because there's a change there. And because Google's algorithm likes to go after what it knows. And when you change something, it assumes that most changes are bad, because most of them are. Most changes, or most things people test, don't pan out. So they're not going to right away treat anything new you do as the thing that it's going to immediately switch things to. It's going to slowly test it out, and it's going to give it the worst quality traffic until it proves itself effectively. So you're going to have, so with that said, I will tell you up front that if you are going to test a new landing page, knowing that the first 60 to 90 days of you running that landing page, you're going to have bad results, even if it's a good page, because you're making a significant change in your account itself, to not test any page that's half-assed. Unless you really think that this landing page can work, don't test it at all, because you got to have 60 to 90 days of lackluster performance just because you made a significant change in your account. But, obviously, in order to make improvements, you got to make changes. Just, make sure that your changes you're making are well thought through. And if you really think your page should outperform the existing page, namely you've got the page made by somebody who knows how to make landing pages and has experience in exactly that, not just some designer who knows how to design websites, because that's a totally different thing, and I could go on to a whole rant on that. But that you're most likely sure that page will perform better, then do the test, suffer the negative volatility in your results short term, and then once things have normalized, you can collect your 90 days with the data testing that new landing page, and then you can have the end result. So what I would recommend to you is for the first 60 to 90 days of you setting up this landing page test, just ignore the data, okay, for the most part. After the 60 to 90 days, start your test then, and then run it for 90 days. Then you'll be able to actually know what your new landing page can really do. Given the algorithm isn't going to send the crappier portion of the traffic that you have within that ad group because it's biased against the existing ad that, you know, they know how the landing page from that ad performs already, basically. So again, fundamentally, it has things haven't changed. You just test it, an A/B test on a landing page. You set up a new ad within the ad group, send that new ad to the new landing page. You set up the ad group to rotate evenly in the ad group settings, and then you wait. The only thing now is it's going to take longer to get conclusive results. Given the first 60 to 90 days is going to be basically that you're not going to have a true A/B test, because Google's not going to really send half of the good quality traffic to the existing page and half to the new page. It's going to send most of the good quality traffic that converts at a higher rate to the new page. I know this because we run split tests all the time at my agency. This is all I do. But I do ad strategy all day long, but ad testing and landing page testing is a big part of what I do every day, particularly 80% of which is on Google Ads. So I've just recognized this. You can expect, and I've seen through the data time and time again now enough to make this video, that the results you get from day 90 to day 180 on your test is not going to be what you get from day 0 to day 90. So really it's gotten not more complicated if you know the information I'm giving you, but it's screwing people up that don't understand what I'm telling you for sure, because a good page that could have been, even doubled your conversion rate, you think lost because Google was biased against that sending traffic to that new page, at least the portion of the traffic within that ad group that matters and gets good results. This is, by the way, going into a slight tangent here, this is, by the way, why new campaigns and new ad groups always do horrible compared to existing ads and ad groups, even if the new ads, landing pages, new campaigns are better in every way, because the system understands how to get conversions for old campaigns. And if you were to run old campaigns side by side with new campaigns, even if the new campaigns are set up 10 times better, the old campaigns are going to do better because Google's algorithm is biased to sending traffic to campaigns that it already knows how to get results out of those campaigns. And it's only going to slowly send some of the better quality traffic to the new campaigns. And only when it sees that little bit of traffic perform well will it give it a little bit more quality traffic, a little bit more quality traffic, and so forth. And it'll take months for Google's algorithm to recognize and actually send a good chunk of that traffic that was sent to the old campaign before to the new campaign. So that it's the same thing with this. And I always got to tell clients at our firm, like, hey, we offer a guaranteed PPC service where we don't charge our clients fees until we get a certain minimum increase in sales results for our clients. Well, we got to tell them up in advance. It's going to take 6 to 12 months to get your additional 50% increase in sales. Why? Because if I get you the best campaign in the world going in your account, Google's system is going to be biased against it until they slowly test it out the way that I was just explaining to you. And it's not a switch. I wish I could just go in, throw a campaign in there, Google sends half of the quality traffic to it right away, because it would obviously speed up the time that we would get paid, but it doesn't work like that anymore. And you just got to be very careful of making changes with Google anymore, because any change causes a huge amount of volatility in your results. You have to really think through your changes, and which is why it really pays to work with somebody knowledgeable who already knows what certain changes will do. Because if you go ahead and make a random change to see if something works, you're going to suffer through negative results short term just because you made the change. So it doesn't pay to just randomly test shit if you don't know what you're doing, because you're going to suffer so much negative results from every test that wasn't worth doing that you're not saving any money not working through an expert. And I would say, I had a point. Another point I wanted to explain regarding this. In addition to that, what people often do as well, in terms of making big mistakes they make, is they'll make a change, and then because the results are negative, because of the volatility, if the algorithm doesn't like change that Google has that runs the ads, that the right away shut that thing down, and then that'll cause even more volatility because there's 2 changes in a row, and then because of that they'll just start making other changes, and then their account will just go in this death spiral. you got to be able to make a change and be committed to the change for like 30 days and then see what happens with your results. Because it'll oftentimes take weeks for whatever change you did for the algorithm to, stop shitting the bed, basically, for lack of better words, and actually, realize the change you did was good, assuming it was better. Whatever you did now with that change is better than you had before. So you have to really, it pays to know and be very cognizant about what changes work, and then have a very methodical approach to making changes. You're going to make a change. 90% of the there's a 90% chance with that change it's going to be better. You make the change. You go through the negative volatility. The results are stabilized. You make another change, and then you keep doing that again and again and again. And that's how you walk the results up on your campaigns in Google over time. And so, along with this, the landing page A/B testing that you do is directly related to that. You have to make a change. You got to wait long enough for the algorithm to normalize the results for you, and once it does, you can enjoy and benefit from the additional sales you're going to get from making that change, but not until you went through a negative result period where the sales could go down 30% from where they were, even though this page is going to and does convert better. You just aren't going to see it until you wait a certain minimum time period for the algorithm to re-normalize and understand how to handle the change that you gave it. In this case, being a landing page. So it's very complicated the way that it is now with Google system and the AI, and understanding how the AI, really messes with results when you make changes to the system. Given AI is just all predicated on previous data, and when you change something, the data sets that it has and it's working and delivering your ads off of, a lot of times it doesn't know what it doesn't know what it used to know anymore, and a lot of times it just goes backwards in terms of what it knew. In fact, way to explain this simply is, the bigger the change you make, the more your results are going to go backwards before they go forwards. To keep it simple, if you make a simple change like a daily budget change, that might take a week before the negative, where your results go negative for a while, and then after a week you'll be back to where you were, and then you can go positive from there. If you make a big change like switching out let's say you redesigned your whole website and every single ad in your account now points to a new website, even if it's the same URL, but it's a different layout on the website, it could take 3 months worth of negative results, depending on your level of ad spend, before the results go positive again, assuming the site now is a better site. It's based upon data. You have to get a certain amount of data through that new thing you did for Google's system to realize it's better, and then now you can actually get the upside from it. And if you're spending $3,000 a month and you update your website, it can take 6 months to get enough data for Google to understand what you did was better. If you're spending $50,000 a month, it could take 2 weeks in comparison, or a week. So it's not about so much time as it is you need a certain amount of data to pass through your account, or that thing you changed, before the algorithm understands the change you made is positive, and to actually take it seriously and assume, because from Google's side it makes sense. Most people make a change and then they abandon it. So why are they going to change their whole ad system off of every single change that people make? It wouldn't make any sense whatsoever to do that. They want to see that you're going to stick with the change, and it's not going to take that change seriously until they take a small risk testing it out. Because the last thing they want is this ads that they have on their network being unoptimized for their users. They want to go with what they know works, and they want to constantly improve, but the new things that they're going to test, they're going to test them out slowly. And if it proves it's good, it'll do a little bit more, and eventually that'll be the core thing that they run from now on. But only after slowly testing it out, and they'll know 90% of the time that settings change, or that new landing page or whatever isn't going to be around for long. So the last thing they want to do is to throw a wrench into their ad system, making a change which they don't even know what the end result of that change is going to be if they push it aggressively right away. They just don't take those risks anymore. They promote what they know, and anything new, you've got to go through a long, painstaking process of them slowly testing it out, and then finally realizing it's good, and then being willing to promote it fully. So that's how you do A/B testing on Google Ads nowadays. Now you know. If you have any questions, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days. You can ask me, by the way, any ad-related question you'd like. I'd be happy to try to answer it for you as a 20-year ad expert of doing online ads for our agency, our clients, and businesses that we also run and own as well. With that said, if you like the channel, by the way, you should subscribe, and I also have a blog that you can also view of my writing on guaranteedppc.com/blog, which if you love the channel here, you'll love my blog. Furthermore, I also have a written column over at entrepreneur.com if you like my work. Beyond that, first of all, if you liked the video, I'd appreciate it if you give a like on the way out. But also, we have an ad agency that we're running here, which I do all the ad strategy for clients that are ad agency. Of that, we guarantee results on our clients' campaigns before they even pay us any fees. If you want to see if we can work together on that kind of basis, you should just simply reach out to my firm at guaranteedppc.com. We offer those services, as well as we offer a service where we take a cut of your sales growth at your company if you were to give us, partial ownership in your company, where we'll own 1 to 10% of your company in exchange for free services and compensation being 1 to 10% of your sales growth for in the future, which is another way we work with different businesses here, and not all companies will certainly apply to that, but we also do that as well. Furthermore, though, if you do not want to work with an agency per se, we also sell ad templates. If we've worked in your market before, you'd be doing yourself a big favor by simply reaching out to us and basically renting the templates that we have that work for your market already. If we worked in let's say the junk removal space already, and that's what you do, we can give you the ad templates, landing page templates, everything that works for that market, so you can copy and paste the same results we're getting into your ad account. These results are so good, we got people starting other businesses up with it. And so, of which, by the way, we can tell you the results we're getting, and you would get in your own account if you used our stuff. And a lot of these ads that we're running, we've been running for years, and it's just absolutely a perfect version of what works in your market. So you're certainly going to pay less for the templates that we have than what you're going to spend figuring out what we had to figure out on our end. So that's a way to get results without working with us directly, necessarily, where you can manage your account and you can get great results with your account in a relatively short period of time. If you still would like to work with us, but you don't think you can afford an ad agency per se, if you're willing to let us work on your account and then share your results on this channel, we also are doing that as well. So you can reach out to us at guaranteedppc.com. Let us know you're interested in that. You got to be at a certain minimum sales level for us to do that, to know you have a viable business that's going to be around for a while. Namely, like $400K a year in sales or greater, US dollars. But if you're doing that and you would rather pay no fees, but would be a public case study for us to share your results, we are interested in that as well, just to build this channel out more than we are already. With that, I'll wrap it up with that, though. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It was educational for you, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.